Cheers.
Hey. Salud.
Cheers. Hey. This is a review of Survivor Season 48, Episode 2, Humble Traits. We have a full review here live from Chandler, Arizona.
Live.
In the home of my co-host, Richie Becerra. Richie, how you feeling?
Feeling good. We never get a live episode this early in the season, so
that's true.
It's going to be cool to see how it pays off.
Yeah, and honestly, a great early episode, too. A lot of awesome getting to know you moments at camps. We're going to do a full breakdown of the episode. We're going to do stock up, stock down, who's going home next week, and we're going to retitle the episode. Humble Traits, a pretty good title for a pretty good little segment on this episode. And, yeah, I guess we always do a shot bet, and this one came down to it. And I was feeling worried because I picked Say to win the entire season. I still feel good about that bet, even though she's making me more and more nervous every week with how aggressive she is.
Yeah.
She stayed alive. You picked Mary to go home. Mary didn't have a vote.
Yeah.
And seemingly was going to be the right choice. That's not how it went. So no one
Survivor.
So for us, we're both drinking. For now, yeah. That's all it is. But let's get into the episode. Ooh, that tastes like the weekend. Right at the beginning, we kind of get a fallout from Tribal Council with Say and Mary. Like, you see right even off the top here that these two are butting heads. And, like, I think this is the thing that I say makes me nervous about Say is that, like, I mean, not humble in victory, too. And that sometimes is, I don't know, that's just not a great look. And Mary, clearly defensive, like, I don't know, within a tribe, too, that's now lost 2 in a row, this isn't a good look, right?
Yeah. I mean, classic, I feel like, tribe that keeps on losing. And, I mean, I feel like Mary has every right to be defensive.
Yeah.
And I think Say should be a little bit more humble if she wants to go further in the game.
Probably. Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a bit of a balance because we've just seen Say step on the gas, which I guess if you're out there, you do need that a little bit, but I don't know. I just seen that overstepped, and it makes me a little nervous. Green tribe clearly in shambles, though.
Yeah.
Kind of what we thought, what we said last week. But then immediately we go to the orange tribe, and this is where we get the title of the episode, Humble Traits, because this is everyone's kind of get-to-know-you moment. And I believe it's Charity who presents this idea of a humble trait.
I think so.
Because she's talking about her toes, which when I first saw the toes, I was like, what's wrong? And then it took a later shot for me to be like, oh, okay. Man, that is some nasty stuff. And then we get David with the extra nipples.
Two extra
nipples in, like, honestly not terrible spots.
And, I mean, he had them removed, too, so, like, I feel like that one was kind of a cop-out.
Yeah.
Kyle's was like a wart on his hand, kind of a cop out.
Very Junie Cortez.
Yeah.
Shout out Spy Kids. I saw Tyson was a little critical of that too. That it wasn't like that's like he said that Kevin should go home because if that's your humble trait. But I don't know. Did you think immediately what yours would be? Because a humble trait is, I guess, like something that's messed up on you.
Yeah. That
like you can laugh at or makes you humble. I mean,
I think when I was a kid, I was super insecure about my vitiligo on my ankle. But, like, not a terrible thing either. And, like, now I could care less about it, so.
Yeah. Gosh. I mean, if you can't think of a humble trait, that's probably says something about you, too. Which, I'm sure. Leave in the comment section, what do you think my humble trait is? That could probably get down to the root of it.
Hey.
That could be good. But, honestly, a great, like, way to get to know the characters. I think that's a fun moment.
Yeah.
And, like, there's probably so much deleted scenes, hours of them all getting to know each other, great conversations, and that was a good one. And then over at the Purple Tribe, something kind of interesting happens here. We learned that Eva last week is on the spectrum, has autism, has confided in Joe. This is a very strong tribe, we decided, and it was proved again this week. But Eva seems to stumble a little bit in this moment with Star.
Yeah.
And this is a social cue that I think she missed.
For sure.
That I don't know, when you were watching, I was like, oh, no. Like, she just, like, and you've seen this happen in Survivor where people go like, oh, well, I shouldn't sit out or you should sit out. People get hurt by that all the time. For sure. This did know about Eva. This did feel a little deliberate and a little, like, sharp.
Yeah.
What do you think of that moment?
Yeah, and I mean, just to like talk about what's going on is that Eva tells basically Star in front of the entire tribe that she should sit out in the next challenge, and they don't even know what it is yet. And I mean, I think it is just kind of like what you're saying, like she just maybe didn't get the social cue part about it. Yeah. And I don't necessarily hate her saying it, but maybe you don't say it directly to Star in front of everybody. Like maybe behind closed doors say that to her, or ask her, hey, would you be okay with sitting out, not just deliberately come out and say, hey, you're sitting out kind of thing.
Yeah. I thought it was a tough moment, but it was also like this also happens in Survivor too. Mm-hmm. Everyone decides who has to sit out, and sometimes that causes wrinkles. Sometimes there are people who are happy to sit out.
For sure.
But this purple tribe, there are really not many weak links. This causes Star to start searching for an idol, even more aggressively, which that dynamic plays out really interesting as well. And because what we get here is Star confides in Joe. Mm-hmm. Joe brings in Shaheen, and then Shaheen brings in Thomas, and everyone's kind of brought in.
Of course, Thomas tells Bianca.
And Thomas tells Bianca, and Thomas, his energy towards it was so interesting because and they talked about it on the podcast a little bit too, that, and I don't hate the way Thomas was thinking, that like, we don't need to help Star. Star doesn't have a vote right now. Yeah. So right now, I'm safe. That is what you're hearing. Mm-hmm. And for Shaheen, it's like, oh, there might be another better way into this rather than like, let's sabotage. Yeah. Because Star needed help with kind of the math side of things. Mm-hmm. I like that little shaped piece of paper. Yeah. Like that definitely causes, it's not a real clear, like, there's a clear answer. You need help. You need brain power. You need work on it. What did you make of Thomas saying that? And what do you make of Shaheen now being weary of Thomas to be like, oh man, I know this guy plays that way now.
I mean, I loved it from Thomas. I think that was very villain-esque of him. Very villain Survivor, old school Survivor. Yeah. And I think that would have worked very well back in the day. I think now, I don't think Shaheen liked that because it is more new era. Yeah. And we'll see how it plays out, but I loved it from Thomas. I thought that was a great move.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think there's something to the fact that, like, oh, they don't have a vote. We all know that. Like,
yeah, and she wasn't in their alliance to begin with.
Yeah, so. What's better, Star not having a vote or Star having an idol?
Exactly.
And especially the fact that it gets out to everyone. Mm-hmm. And it even does get back to Eva as well, which Eva was the one that Star was like, I don't want it to get to Eva because it's got out. But now, again, dude, new era.
And Shaheen has the paper, too. So, like, if she does go home, he now has the paper to find the idol.
Yeah.
So
yeah, dude, at one point Thomas says that Shaheen should lose the advantage. Is that a little too sinister? Because, I mean, not helping is one thing, but then being like, he's like, what if it disappears or something like that?
I liked that. I just want to know how he would get away with. Where would it have disappeared to?
Yeah.
There's no trash can.
It's funny, too, with the Joe dynamic, is Joe is clearly such a warm personality to everyone at camp. Yeah. So likable. It's going to make him dangerous. You know,
for sure.
Post-merge, because so likable, so powerful. Yeah, I don't know. But I also don't know how you avoid that. Joe's just being Joe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then what else? We got the journey kind of comes along. Yep. We got that where they pick the lowest unique number. This was kind of an interesting way to decide. And it works out by Thomas Thomas hitting a 1 right away, which, that's kind of smart. I don't think I would have thought that.
I think I would for sure would have thought 1.
You just go, I'll go 1.
If you want to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Thomas wins pretty easily. Who else wins?
Mary goes because they said they were doing a practice round, and Say wins that one.
Say says it, but that's classic, like any game you play, right? Yeah. Like, one person did say practice round, but like not everyone heard that. Yeah. So it's like, why is that a practice round? Like, it's like using the mulligan or something like, I thought we were practicing. But also, I mean, we all clearly heard, and the producers wanted us to hear that. She got, who else went on it? Mary and
Mitch.
And Mitch, yes. And then we get Thomas, Mitch, and Mary all on this this journey where they get the number blocks and they got to get them in a row. Pretty clever. I'm sure, this is one that seems easy, but would probably be fun to try. I like these ones where, you kind of have to mess up your order. It's like a sliding puzzle, but with numbers. And 2 out of 3, I mean, Mitch kills it. Mitch right away. I think Mitch has a great episode.
For sure.
Too. I was cheering for my guy, Mitch. My fan favorite, by the way. Mitch gets it pretty easy. Thomas, gets it kind of last minute. And then Mary does end up failing.
Yeah, not even close either.
Not even close, which then Mary loses her vote,
Yep.
which the one person, like you probably were feeling pretty good about your bet here.
Oh, yeah.
Because
100%.
Mary, who was already on the outs, really needed this,
Mhm.
which would have caused a great shakeup, loses. And yeah, I don't know. It's tough,
Yeah.
but yeah. Mitch, and then they all come back. Mary kind of talks about how it was a death sentence.
Mhm.
Thomas lies, says that he walked away.
Which I don't think they really believed either.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
At least from the looks and from what they were saying, like Shaheen saying he was playing super hard, I don't think they believe it one bit. But
because of Thomas's, Thomas being a little bit of a snake in the grass
Mhm.
here, based off of like we're just seeing little flashes. It's not
For
a
sure.
ton, but I'm like, I need to see Purple go to tribal now, even though
Mhm.
they're stacked. I just want to see what happens to
Yeah.
that tribe because they do seem so strong. Mitch comes back super honest, just tells
Mhm.
them exactly what happens. He gets a steal a vote or a block of vote.
it's a block of
He
vote,
gets
yeah.
a block vote, but Thomas gets a steal a vote.
I think so.
Is that right? Yeah. Which I don't think that's very fair. I think steal is way more powerful
For
than
sure.
block. If true, that's crazy. And then 4 on orange, all go looking for idols. Kyle finds it, and then Camilla ends up solving it.
Yeah.
It was kind of wild to me. Like, does it feel like he cheated on his homework a little bit? That like, I don't know. I mean, I'm someone who like, if it's like done in a way that there's like maybe something a little bit controversial, I don't feel good about it.
Mhm.
Like, you didn't fully solve this idol.
For sure.
And he just kind of handed over to Camilla. Camilla
Yeah.
played, and then she just handed it right back, which you're not going to steal it. But man, wouldn't you feel a little like, oh, I didn't completely solve this? Or are you like, no, I got him.
I see. I never even thought that. I was like, I mean, he's using his alliance and his team.
Yeah.
It builds trust. I get that. They kind of have their 4, and Charity and Mitch are kind of on the outs. So
Yeah, which is wild that those two are on the outs.
Yeah.
And then, because now Kevin with an idol, pretty strong, or not Kevin. Kyle finds the idol, which is pretty big. And then immunity challenge, we get out on the water, pretty epic. I love these ones out on the water. Cool little moment here with Mitch where he's kind of struggling to stutter, and Jeff stops and has this amazing like human moment, which I'm like, I think this is why Jeff still gets out of bed every day is like these human moments of like, hey, how should we handle that now? If like someone is because I was like wanting to help too. Like I know exactly what Jeff was saying. I was like, oh, Mitch, but it's like, yeah, I mean.
And I liked what Mitch said, too. He was like, it's natural for people to want to help. And that's true. Like, I think most people would say it because they're trying to help, not because they're trying to rush him or anything.
Yeah.
But they don't want him to struggle. But I do like how he said he wants to struggle and he wants to be able to get the opportunity to say what he wants to say.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was cool. I liked that little moment there. We got a bunch of diving into the water, getting buoys across the water. Then we get to the very end, the jump shots. I do think jump shots need to be in Survivor 50.
Really?
Which there was no voting this week, huh? Or was there a Survivor voting?
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, jump shots like in the basket.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I just in a challenge.
I thought you meant shots of them jumping.
Oh,
the
no,
slow-mos.
Oh, well, the slow-mos are sick.
I
just mean at the end, like something about the buoys going in a hoop.
Yeah,
that's essential.
Sure, yeah.
Like especially early on. I want to see, but there was no hands of the fans voting.
No,
this week.
but there was a Tom Brady reference.
There was a Tom Brady reference. Who was it that launched the ball?
David, I think.
It was David.
Yeah.
Launches it. Yeah, that was pretty good. Tom Brady of Survivor.
I think it's the first time Tom Brady's been mentioned on Survivor.
I mean, and that's pretty big. I mean, it must have been fresh in Jeff's mind. It's interesting. The game still was playing during the challenge too. Star and Camilla both on the sit-out bench.
That was cool. I like
Getting
that.
to know each other. The game is always going.
100%.
I love it.
And they don't show that a lot, and you wonder if that happens more than they show.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, jump shots, classic. And like it was Eva at one point was sinking a few, and I was like Ray Allen looking sick. But then Mitch, like this is I just picture him. He's a PE teacher, right? You remember those cages of balls? You got to collect all. I bet you this man shot a lot of balls.
He was shooting them granny style too, so he knew what to do. Yeah,
he knows, like, hey, that's the way to be accurate. Like shooting like this, and those buoys are not basketballs. Even if they are basketball. I mean, Cliff Robinson, R.I.P. Was fantastic at this. But yeah, Mitch just killing it, and I was like, let's go. That's my guy right there. Orange wins it, and then Orange gets first, and then Purple gets second. They get a smaller fishing kit. And man, there goes Green back to back to tribal, and back at camp during the scrambling. Cedric does something that, I mean, Stephanie did it the week before. Like, why come back and throw your name out there?
I don't
Just
know.
be like, guys, that was on me. Maybe you feel like you need to humble yourself, or you need to act as if.
And I thought for a little bit maybe it was strategy because he kind of knew he had Justin and Kevin on his side. So maybe say that and kind of make it so that the girls don't worry as much.
Yeah.
So they're not stressed out and they're not scrambling.
Yeah. Yeah, no, maybe. And I don't know, like, Kevin is playing a little hard here, too.
I mean, honestly, the whole tribe, I think, is playing pretty hard.
Yeah. I mean, Mary's fighting to stay alive.
Yeah.
Say has a clear, like, let's just get Mary out. Let's move on. But then Say has that thing that's like a little bit like Tony.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, you want to say my name? All right, it's you then.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't want to keep you around. Like, Mary we can deal with another day. But Kevin, seemingly fine from his shoulder injury, like, what is probably the biggest strength on this team. And why I don't know. Letting Kevin go is kind of a crazy thing that they flip back to.
Yeah.
Say, feeling like she needs to play her idol, which is such a bummer to play it so early on.
Well, she feels like that because Cedric tells her to play it.
Yeah.
Because Kevin and Justin wanted to vote Say out, and Cedric just didn't feel good because they had that day one alliance.
Yeah.
So, luckily for her, he tells her.
Yeah. And they all get to tribal. And Say again, just staying aggressive and saying, like, I don't know, just it just makes me nervous, man. Like, I know when the other tribes get to know, I think in this tribe she's the alpha clearly.
Yeah.
And like they're kind of moving to the beat of her drum. But I just don't see this lasting super long. It's burning out.
She's gonna have to
hot.
change play come merge time for sure.
And yeah, it's going back and forth. Like we said, like I thought maybe Say won't play the idol. Maybe it will just be Mary and it'll be clear and obvious because they always try to make it less obvious. Were you shocked that it ended up being Kevin with an A?
Yeah, and I mean this was I think one of the first times in a long time. But there was 3 people that could have gone home, and like I was clueless as to who it was going to be.
Yep.
But yeah, I was definitely shocked it was going to be Kevin. I for sure thought Mary was going. I thought that was the smart play too, but
yeah. And Say played the idol. Which now it'll be back. I wonder if it'll be back with a new puzzle or if it'll be more of a straight up, you found it, this is it. But yeah, Kevin, I think Kevin, I could say this maybe not about Stephanie, but like Kevin, I was like, oh man, probably a great Survivor player in there.
Oh yeah.
But just, spoke up too soon about the wrong person.
Seems too early to take out such a big person too.
Yeah. Kevin had a pretty big first episode too, going on the journey and whatnot, getting hurt, and then being on the right side of the votes and whatnot.
Guess the dislocated shoulder curse isn't going to work for him.
Yeah,
he's not going to win this one.
Yeah, you might have jinxed him there. But yeah, pretty good episode 2. Green's now down to 4. They'll probably get at least another chance at it. But let's go to a little Survivor press conference.
Yeah.
Who you got a question for?
My question is for Say, and I want to know if she ever thought about not playing the idol.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they never went to her like debating in a confessional or anything, but I wonder if that ever crossed her mind because Cedric said that, but then also you told him, "Hey, let's vote out Kevin."
Yeah.
And you got to think she knew that they were going to vote Kevin because she voted for Kevin.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I like that. My question is for David, and I wonder, David, if you regret getting your 2 nipples removed. I think because what a party trick that could. I wonder if like medically I want to know more about that. Nipple removal, especially when you have extra ones. Like that's got to be a specific there's got to be a reason why you want that. Is it just cosmetic? Is it medical? Would a doctor come out and say that? Also, my other question is, Jeff, can we loosen up the khakis because they're looking pretty tight as he's walking up and down tribal? We can loosen them up just a little bit too. I mean, baggies more in these days. You can go full Michael DeConti 2012 if you need to. Get the big old khakis. Just let's loosen them up. Can we do that, Jeff? And shout out Mike. All right, cool. Let's go to stock up, stock down.
Yeah.
My stock up, I think, is actually Mitch, and I just think just as a this is probably more for the fan favorite in me too.
Okay.
But I'm like, I think Mitch is going to be so great at these challenges too. And I know the charity thing. I am curious to see how that'll play out too. I still want Purple more to go to Tribe, which that'll be interesting. But yeah, I just think Mitch had a good episode and was got the moments in.
Yeah.
Who do you got?
I have stock up as Cedric.
Nice.
And I think part of that was a little bit, I do have him winning it all, but the decision to vote out Kevin kind of comes all back to Cedric. He tells Say about the idol. She tells him, hey, let's vote out Kevin. And he kind of brushes that off, and then he gets and meets with Justin, and then they kind of talk about it again. And, I mean, he pulls off the big upset of the season so far. So
Yeah, no, and he's in a good. Cedric's in a good spot where Say is the distractor, is the dragon.
He's not the front runner. He's not an easy target right now.
Yeah, and going forward, that's a good person to be aligned with because they'll take her out before they take him out unless he or she has an idol. But yeah, that's a good one. Stock down. Who do you got?
Stock down. I originally had down Mitch.
Oh, wow.
Only because I didn't go with him, only because of them saying Mitch is playing the game hard and he has the power now.
Yeah.
But I ended up going with Star, and I just think it was stupid of her to tell every single person. I guess she didn't tell every person, but to tell even one person about your advantage that quick. I think it could be one of those easy ones where if they lose, they just take her out because she doesn't have a vote right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. I think Say's stock's actually pretty down after this one. Now, no idol. Now, I mean, if this tribe goes to a tribal, like, I don't see Cedric maybe flipping, but Justin could easily go for Say. Mary would go for Say. And it's like, could you get one more person? Could you get
It's
Cedric
just them four.
It's just them four.
I don't think Cedric flips on her, though.
Yeah, I mean.
And then I think in that case, I think they just vote Mary because it's the easy one.
Yeah, maybe Justin does go there. I just think having your guard down of playing that idol, and if Mary gets on a journey or something and gets a chance to talk to other people and just be like, look, Say's playing hard.
But do you think they send her on a journey again?
Yeah, I mean, if she picks the lowest number and she can get past the practice round, I mean, that could be big. And look, I mean, Say is still my pick to win. I mean, maybe at Merge we have a chance to repick our winners, but I don't know. I just think just in a tough spot, making me more and more nervous than making me more confident that
that's fair.
She's going to go far in this game. All right, so great title. I would say this is a great title for an episode. Humble traits, but we got a better one. Probably. What do you got?
So the one I actually went with is Mary says this at the beginning of the episode, but it's I got. And I think that's just the two gots in a row. Kind of makes for a fun little title.
I'm pretty sure we've done that one before.
Yeah,
too.
I think so. Something very similar.
It was a tribe name, got.
Yeah.
Got. I think Sam said that. Got.
Yeah.
I think Sam said
I did
that
have a
season.
fun one, though, and there's something David said when he was talking about the nipples, and he said, I wish I could milk myself.
I wish I could milk myself. That
maybe not title appropriate, but
I would click on that for sure. I did something Thomas said. So after Thomas delivers the CoverGirl line, easy breezy, beautiful, he says done and dusted.
Yeah,
I like done and
good.
dusted.
I like that a lot.
Alliteration's always gonna do it for me. Done and dusted.
Yeah.
Just a good little line.
Alliteration for you is like when the two people who are on the chopping block have the same first letter for producers.
And I would say, too, Thomas is probably a stock-up option as well. I think just the fact that we're seeing a little bit of that type gameplay where it is – I like seeing it because I do think people are like – I get the idea of maybe we don't want bullies or villains – but like we need Sinister a little bit, you know what I mean? We need people.
I want bullies and villains.
I mean, but yeah, because ultimately let us chew and spit out the bullies too. Like try to come out here and be a bully. It probably wouldn't work, but to be like sweet and sinister is, I don't know, a great thing for Thomas. But done and dusted, that's the title I'm going with. All right, who's going home next week? Episode 3.
Episode 3, I have Charity going home.
Ooh, Charity.
Yeah.
Okay. This makes sense. Do you think Orange loses somehow?
Yeah, I think. They can't let Green keep losing.
And Charity has been the name that Orange
has,
brought up a bunch too. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Camilla on Orange. Actually.
Ooh.
Little sleeper pick. Maybe it gets around. Maybe something happens there. But I'll go with Orange too, and I'll go with Camilla as Kyle's like kind of number 2
over Chrissy.
Yeah. Over Chrissy. I did Chrissy this week.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
But so I want to mix it up a little bit. I do like hopefully it's not green going to tribal. Maybe it's a double tribal situation thing too.
Early.
That could be cool. We'll see though. That's it. That's all we got for the episode. No more fans voting this week. Let's get some basketball hoops going though in Survivor 50. That's easy, Jeff. Just make that a thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else?
Stay tuned for a big DBN 50 coming out soon.
DBN 50. Other housekeeping in the network. Big DBN golf tournament, Goat Brook golf tournament tomorrow. Any preview as you're looking ahead for tomorrow?
I think they have right now me and Shay at -180. So if you want to, if you want to hammer that, I think you can also get the stroke line at -1.5.
Who's most likely to have shot of the day? Because I had the shot of the day last time.
You did have shot of the day last time. I think it's going to be Mike. It's Mike's weekend.
It could be Mike.
Yeah.
I kind of see Shay hitting a shot that's bad,
hits
and
a tree,
rolls up, and gets right next to the cup.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say Shay.
Okay.
Mike. We're picking each other's teammates.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it goes. Thanks so much for being here. Leave a comment. Tell us your humble traits. Tell us our humble traits.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.
Later, guys.